it's nearly impossible to have real democracy when you have extreme inequality, because in the end, the power of money tends to trump the power of the vote unless the citizens are extremely well organized, and we, of course, see that situation in the United States, and the Supreme Court Citizen United decision exacerbates the problem significantly. Essentially, the reality is that you cannot have true political democracy without economic democracy, which requires a reasonably equitable distribution of participation, both in income and in ownership. Now, that is consistent with a market economy framework if you really understand the market, but it has to be a market with rules, including rules that maintain a fair and equitable distribution of wealth. So part of our, when the United States emerged from World War II, we had a very strong middle class, and democracy was relatively strong at that point in time. Our democracy now is in deep trouble, but as in the Middle East, we are seeing the awakening of an aroused citizenry, and I think there's great hope that that the citizens are getting organized, and that we can make demands of the politicians and the financial interests to fix it. But we need to, it's not a temporary fix we need. It's measures that lead us back to being a middle-class nation with a reasonably equitable distribution of wealth. And I would stress that equitable participation and ownership is perhaps even more important than equitable participation in income, because ownership is the ultimate power. Whoever owns the real assets of the society ultimately controls the society, and that control cannot be achieved through the fiction of worker ownership through a centralized socialist system. It needs to be real ownership through mechanisms like cooperatives, and I think that awareness is building. We're breaking through a lot of the myths that have tied us down in America and given the Wall Street interests undue power. So I am hopeful for our future, that we are uniting with the peoples of the world in the effort to move toward a more democratic nation.